He's the last man standing from one of the most legendary groups in music history. At 83 years old, Otis Williams, founding member of the Temptations, is still going strong. But what's life really like for this Motown pioneer behind the spotlight? From a net worth of $8 million to a rare peek inside his California home, Otis has built a legacy not just in music, but in real estate and personal resilience. In this video, we're going inside Otis Williams's house, his current life, his reflections at 83, and the 3 marriages that shaped his journey. Plus, we'll answer a question many fans still wonder: why does he only have one child after all these years? Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because we're about to dive into the remarkable world of Otis Williams. Let's get started. Otis Williams' net worth and how he built his fortune. Otis Williams, the legendary baritone and founding member of the Temptations, has amassed a net worth of approximately $8 million. A remarkable achievement built over more than 6 decades in the music industry. His financial success is deeply rooted in his role as a core member of the Temptations, one of Motown's most iconic and best-selling vocal groups. With countless chart-topping hits, Grammy wins, and a global fan base, the Temptations left a permanent mark on American music, and Otis Williams was at the heart of it all. As the only surviving original member of the group, Williams' contributions went far beyond performing. He co-wrote several of their signature tracks and took on the role of group leader and organizer, ensuring their legacy endured even as lineups changed over the decades. Throughout the years, Williams also invested in real estate and earned substantial royalties from album sales. He purchased a home in Woodland Hills, California, in 1999 for $485,000 and later sold it in 2014 for $620,000. His earnings from record sales further demonstrate the scale of his success with Greatest Hits, 1966, $2.6 million, 2 million copies sold. Phoenix Rising, 1998, $1.3 million. Give Love at Christmas, 1980, $1.3 million. All the Million Sellers, 1972, $1.3 million. Several other albums including Cloud 9, Puzzle People, Psychedelic Shack, and collaborations with Diana Ross and the Supremes, each sold over 500,000 copies and earned $650,000 or more. In total, his role in albums like 20th Century Masters, The Ultimate Collection, and TCB contributed millions to his career earnings. Otis Williams's net worth isn't just a figure. It's the result of decades of hard work, timeless music, and smart management. Today, at 83, he remains an enduring symbol of soul, discipline, and artistic excellence. The early life and rise of Otis Williams, from heartache to harmony. Otis Williams's path to fame was paved with both talent and early adversity. Born on October 30, 1941 in Texarkana, Texas, he entered the world as Otis Miles Jr., the only child of Otis Miles Sr. and Hazel Louise Williams. His childhood, however, was far from easy. Shortly after his birth, his parents separated, leaving his family fractured from the very beginning. By the time he was just 2 years old, Otis's mother remarried and moved to Detroit, leaving young Otis to be raised primarily by his grandmother. Those formative years were marked by instability and distance from his mother. It wasn't until he turned 10 that Otis moved to Detroit to live with her full-time. Though their reunion offered a degree of stability, the emotional scars of early separation never fully faded. Otis attended Northwestern High School in Detroit, where he graduated in the mid-1950s, not 1995, as sometimes misstated. It was during this period that he formed close bonds with future Temptations members Melvin Franklin and Richard Street. These friendships would later shape the course of his life. Driven by a passion for music, Otis adopted his mother's maiden name and began performing under the name Otis Williams. As a teenager, he formed several vocal groups, including Otis Williams and the Siberians, the El Domingos, and eventually The Distance. In 1959, The Distance scored a local hit with Come On, a track co-written by Williams, producer Johnny May Matthews, and manager Milton Jenkins, with Richard Street on lead vocals. Although the group's early success was promising, follow-up recordings failed to gain traction. This led to a pivotal shift. Williams, along with Elbridge Al Bryant and Melvin Franklin, parted ways with The Distance. They soon joined forces with Eddie Kendricks and Paul Williams from another group, the Primes. The newly formed group initially called themselves the Elgins, but changed their name to the Temptations after signing with Motown Records in March 1961. Otis Williams and the legacy of the Temptations. Over nearly 5 decades, the Temptations became one of the most iconic and influential groups in soul music history. Throughout their long and storied career, the group saw numerous lineup changes, welcoming legendary vocalists like David Ruffin, Dennis Edwards, Richard Street, a former member of The Distance, Damon Harris, Ron Tyson, Ali Ollie Woodson, Theo Peoples, Ray Davis, and G.C. Cameron, who had previously sung with The Spinners. Despite the rotating roster, one constant remained: Otis Williams, the group's founder, baritone anchor, and guiding force. As a member of the Temptations, Otis Williams has contributed both tenor and baritone vocals, although he rarely takes center stage as a lead singer. Instead, he's embraced his behind-the-scenes role as the group's leader and organizer, ensuring the vocal harmonies remain tight and the legacy intact. His signature vocal spot is often the baritone in the middle, providing depth and structure to the group's layered sound. Among the group's best-known hits are timeless classics like My Girl and I Know I'm Losing You. These tracks helped propel the Temptations to international fame. Over the years, the group has won 4 Grammy Awards and earned 9 nominations, a testament to their enduring impact. While Williams seldom sings lead, there are a few standout moments where his voice takes the spotlight. Notably, he sang This Guy's in Love with You on the 1968 albums Live at London's Talk of the Town, and Diana Ross and the Supremes joined the Temptations. Another rare lead performance came on I Ain't Got Nothing, penned by Norman Whitfield for the 1972 album All Directions. In addition to his vocal contributions, Williams has added spoken-word interludes to several Temptations songs, adding a dramatic and personal touch. These include the hit duet I'm Gonna Make You Love Me, 1968, with Diana Ross and Eddie Kendricks. I'm the Exception to the Rule from Sky's the Limit, 1971, the opening of Masterpiece, 1973, and For Your Love, a medley with You Send Me, led by Ali Ollie Woodson on the 1995 album For Lovers Only. Over the years, the Temptations underwent countless lineup changes, some due to creative differences, others to personal struggles. The turnover became so frequent and emotionally draining that Otis Williams and fellow original member Melvin Franklin made a pact. No matter what happened, they would never leave the group. Melvin Franklin kept that promise until 1994, when his declining health made it impossible for him to continue performing. He passed away on February 23, 1995, leaving Otis Williams, then just 53 years old, as the last surviving original member of the legendary quintet. Despite the loss, Williams stayed true to their vow. As of 2024, he remains the heart and soul of the Temptations, still performing and recording more than 6 decades after the group first came together. He has appeared on every single Temptations release, including their most recent studio album, Temptations 60, which debuted on January 28, 2022. The album was a celebration of the group's enduring legacy and featured a special collaboration with Motown icon Smokey Robinson, a fitting tribute to the label and sound that made them stars. Step inside the Temptations, Otis Williams' home. To mark his 80th birthday in true Temptations style, Otis Williams opened the doors of his home for a special episode of Diggs, a home tour series inspired by the classic MTV Cribs. His vibrant, artful residence, affectionately named The Summit, is more than just a home. It's a living museum of music history, filled with bold colors, timeless style, platinum records, and heartfelt memories. As a warm and gracious host, Williams takes viewers on a tour of his stunning space, proudly showcasing decades of accomplishments. Among the highlights, an impressive 5 Grammy Awards. "There are so many, I can't even begin to name them all," he says with a laugh, his humility shining through even as he stands among his many accolades. Otis's milestone birthday coincides with another extraordinary achievement: 60 years of The Temptations. The group's anniversary campaign, which runs through June 2022, includes a national and international tour featuring the current lineup, still led by Williams, the group's last surviving founding member. The celebration also includes the release of a new anniversary album and the return of the Broadway musical Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, which reopened on October 16th. In addition to performing, Williams has been working on Emperors of Soul, The Rarities, a 26-track collection of hard-to-find gems from the group's catalog, now available on digital platforms for the first time. Reflecting on this historic chapter, Williams shared, "I've been blessed to take this journey with my manager and dear brother Shelley Berger and all my brothers, The Temptations. Now, being the last one standing from the classic lineup can be hard at times, but I believe God left me here for a reason, to share our music with new generations." He added, "Music is a universal language. Our songs have brought joy, comfort, and sometimes hope to people all over the world. That, I believe, was our greater purpose." Grateful for the fans who've stood by the group through every era, Williams announced plans to hit the road again with longtime members Ron Tyson and Terry Weeks, along with Willie Green Jr. and Mario Corbino. "We can't wait to celebrate this incredible milestone with all of you," Williams said with heartfelt sincerity. "It's been a long road, but what a beautiful ride it's been." Inside Otis Williams's classic car collection. While Otis Williams is best known as the founding member and baritone backbone of the Temptations, the Motown legend also has an appreciation for the finer things off stage, especially when it comes to cars. His collection may not be the flashiest in Hollywood, but it reflects his love for classic style, smooth cruising, and timeless design. One of the standout vehicles in Otis Williams's garage is a 1965 Cadillac Eldorado, an iconic luxury convertible that perfectly suits his soulful image. Known for its long, sleek lines and white wall tires, the Eldorado was a symbol of success during the peak Motown era. Today, a restored model can fetch between $60,000 and $80,000, depending on condition and original features. Williams has also been seen driving a Lincoln Continental Mark V, a personal luxury car from the late 1970s that was beloved for its bold grille, plush interiors, and smooth ride. This vintage cruiser typically ranges from $20,000 to $40,000, depending on mileage and restoration quality. In more recent years, Otis has leaned toward comfort and reliability, often opting for a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, a modern luxury sedan known for its technology and smooth handling. A new S-Class can cost upwards of $120,000, aligning with Otis's preference for understated elegance rather than over-the-top extravagance. Though not overflowing with dozens of exotic supercars, Otis Williams's car collection reflects the same values that have defined his music career: class, soul, and lasting quality. Otis Williams's charity work. Beyond his legendary career with the Temptations, Otis Williams has quietly but consistently given back to the community through charitable work that reflects his values and love for music, youth, and empowerment. Over the years, Williams has donated both time and resources to a variety of causes, often focusing on underserved youth, education, and the preservation of Black music history. One of his most significant contributions has been to the Motown Museum in Detroit, where he donated both memorabilia and financial support. In 2020, he contributed $100,000 toward the museum's expansion campaign aimed at preserving the legacy of Motown and inspiring future generations of artists and fans. Williams has also been a longtime supporter of the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles, ICYOLA, an organization that provides free music education and performance opportunities to youth in underserved communities. In 2023, he was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from ICYOLA in recognition of his impact not only as a musician, but also as a mentor and supporter. He has donated an estimated $50,000 to help fund instruments, programs, and scholarships. Additionally, Otis has worked with Stillman College, a historically Black liberal arts college in Alabama. After receiving an honorary doctorate from the institution in 2006, he became an active supporter, donating $75,000 to help expand their performing arts and music departments. Through public appearances and fundraising events, he has also raised awareness for organizations like UNCF, United Negro College Fund, and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, lending his voice to campaigns that focus on health, education, and equal opportunity. Otis Williams's philanthropy may not always make headlines, but his quiet generosity continues to uplift communities, proving that his legacy goes far beyond the stage. Otis Williams' personal life, love, loss, and strength behind the spotlight. While Otis Williams is best known as the enduring heart of the Temptations, his personal life has been marked by both deep love and profound loss. His journey behind the scenes is a story of resilience, sacrifice, and emotional strength. In 1961, at the age of 20, Williams married Josephine Rogers, and that same year, they welcomed their only child, a son named Otis Lamont Miles. Unfortunately, the marriage was short-lived, ending in divorce in 1964. Lamont grew up away from the limelight, choosing a career in construction rather than entertainment. Tragically, in 1985, at just 24 years old, Otis Lamont died in a workplace accident after falling from a building in Detroit. The sudden and devastating loss of his only child marked one of the most painful chapters in Williams's life. In a 2023 interview with The Express, Williams reflected on how performing with the Temptations helped him survive that grief. "I was grieving because I lost my son, but when I got up on stage, I realized I was bringing people happiness," he said. "So whatever sorrow I had within me, I let it transfer out into that audience. I've always taken negativity and turned it into a positive." Despite the heartbreak, Williams continued his commitment to music, crediting his work and his fans as the emotional lifeline that kept him moving forward. Following his first marriage, Williams wed Ann Kane in 1967, a woman who worked as a housekeeper for Ike and Tina Turner. That marriage also ended in divorce in 1973. A decade later, in 1983, he married Arleata Goldie Williams, née Carter, a relationship that lasted until 1997. While they had no children together, Arleata's daughter from a previous relationship, Ellen Carter, became a part of Williams's blended family. Ellen later made headlines as Playboy's Playmate of the Month in June 1994. As of today, Otis Williams has no grandchildren and has never remarried. Despite the personal tragedies and failed relationships, he has remained a steady presence within the Temptations, serving as the group's self-described glue. Though rarely the lead singer, his leadership and emotional strength have kept the legacy of the Temptations alive for more than 6 decades, a testament to a man who, in his own words, has always found ways to turn pain into purpose. After over 60 years in business, the Temptations' Otis Williams still loves making music. Otis Williams is far more than just the baritone voice of the Temptations. He's also the last surviving original member and the strategic mind behind the group's enduring legacy. While his musical talent helped build the foundation of one of Motown's most iconic acts, it's his sharp sense of business, marketing, and storytelling that has kept the group thriving for over 6 decades. Williams isn't just focused on performing. He's deeply invested in growing and preserving the Temptations as a brand. That might sound corporate at first, but for Williams, it's about love, legacy, and ownership. "I knew that the Temptations' name was a valued brand," he shared. "I was able to get ownership of it close to 40 years ago. It's a wonderful thing to own something you've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into." Now in his 80s, Williams is still touring and performing, bringing Motown magic to fans old and new. He continues to lead the Temptations alongside current members, Terry Weeks, Ron Tyson, Larry Braggs, and Willie Green. The group will join the Four Tops, the Spinners, and the Stylistics for A Salute to the Legends of Motown on July 23rd at Freedom Hill Amphitheater, a show that will also support Detroit's Motown Museum. But Otis Williams is just as passionate about storytelling as he is about music. His 1988 memoir, Temptations, was updated in 2002 and became the foundation for Ain't Too Proud to Beg, the acclaimed Broadway musical based on the group's journey. Williams, who helped develop the production, sees it as a way to ensure that the group's story is passed down to future generations. An avid reader and thinker, Williams has always believed that success in music isn't just about talent. It's about understanding the industry. "This is a business that generates billions," he said. "You have to respect that. Yes, it's entertaining, and I love that part, but it's business first." For Otis Williams, every performance is a gift, and he never forgets it. Whether he's singing for a crowd in Europe or reading letters from lifelong fans, Williams says he's deeply moved by the impact the Temptations have had on people's lives. It's something he never expected when the group first came together, and it's a feeling that still humbles him to this day. "It's a privilege," he said, "to be able to perform for audiences around the world, to know that our music has brought joy and meaning to someone's life. That's not something I take lightly." He admits the job has its challenges, but being on stage makes it all worth it. "When you break it down, all we have to do is entertain people for 45 minutes to an hour and a half," Williams said with a smile. "That's a lot better than waking up at 4 a.m. for a job you don't enjoy. When I'm on stage and I see people's faces light up because they're craving good music, it makes me forget about life's worries." Now, with the success of the Ain't Too Proud musical based on his memoir, Williams feels another dream taking shape. He had waited patiently for Motown, the musical to finish its run, and now it's finally his turn to bring the Temptations' story to the stage. "The one thing that's constant in life is change," he says, an idea that guides both his career and his mindset. Williams also knows that talent alone isn't enough. "I've seen incredibly gifted people waste their potential because they couldn't take direction," he explains. "When I look for singers to join us, I'm looking for more than a voice. I'm looking for someone with heart, humility, and the willingness to learn." The Temptations' founding member, not impressed with music today. On December 21st, 1964, the Temptations released what would become one of the most cherished love songs of all time, My Girl. Written and produced by Smokey Robinson and Ronald White, the soulful Motown ballad marked the group's very first #1 single and set them on a path to music history. Today, it's enshrined in the National Recording Registry as a cultural treasure. Otis Williams, the last surviving founding member of the Temptations, remembers the moment vividly. "I was in the control room at the studio while Smokey was producing," he told Fox News Digital. "I said, 'Smoke, I don't know how big a record this is going to be.'" They quickly got their answer. When the group performed at the Apollo Theater, telegrams started pouring in. from the Beatles, Berry Gordy, the Supremes, and Jules Podell, owner of the Copacabana. "I still have those telegrams framed in my home," Williams said. "They're priceless to me." Although the Temptations had formed in 1961, success didn't come until 1964. "My Girl" changed everything. "It put us on the map," Williams said. As for who the song was about, "You'll have to ask Smokey that one," Williams laughed. He recalled Robinson and his then-wife Claudette hearing the group perform at Detroit's iconic 20 Grand nightclub. Smokey said, "I've got a song for you," and we, being young and full of confidence, said, "Bring it on, we can sing anything." Interestingly, "My Girl" was written as a male counterpart to Mary Wells's "My Guy," another Robinson-penned classic. Williams believes the song's enduring power lies in its universal message. It means something different to everyone. A father walking his daughter down the aisle, a man falling in love. It speaks to all of that, he explained. It's not just about romance. It's about connection, about love. He added, "It's a simple melody, easy lyrics, and completely inoffensive. Just a beautiful expression of what a man feels for his woman. That's what Motown stood for. Songs with soul, heart, and lasting meaning." At 83, Otis Williams has seen the music industry evolve in ways few others have. As the last surviving original member of the Temptations, he's spent over 6 decades shaping the sound of American soul. And while he's proud of the legacy his generation built, he admits he has mixed feelings about what he hears on the radio today. "I always say the one constant in life is change," Williams reflected. "And I try not to knock anyone chasing their dreams in show business, but I've got to be honest, some of what I hear today doesn't impress me." Williams expressed concern about modern lyrics, pointing out the heavy use of profanity and degrading language. "I believe in freedom of speech," he said, "but when you hear cussing and people talking about doing very explicit things to women, especially on the radio, that's a problem. Kids are listening. There should still be a sense of dignity." He contrasted that with the values Motown championed. Motown was built on great songwriting, songs that resonated with everyone. They called them songs for America. And that's what we aim to be: wholesome, uplifting, and respectful to the audience. Despite his critiques, Williams isn't slowing down. "God has blessed me to do this for 64 years, he said. "I've always believed that being in show business is a privilege. You have the power to lift people up and give them hope. That's why we've always tried to be a wholesome act. We don't go out grabbing our private parts and singing about vulgar things." He continued, "We were taught that respect for yourself and your audience mattered. If you perform with dignity and give a strong, clean show, people will always come back to see you." And clearly, they have. "My Girl" recently surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify, and Williams is humbled by how younger generations continue to embrace the music. "God, in his infinite wisdom, brought us into that studio," he said. "That was a special time in the 60s, just like today is crazy in its own way. But when a song is still loved 60 years later, that tells you something. Our audience grew up with us," he added. "We started young, and now, just look at how far we've come." What surprised you most about Otis Williams's journey, his dedication to the Temptations, his personal losses, or the way he's preserved the group's legacy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of a true Motown legend, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.